Well, how's it going everyone? Welcome back to a new video here for the RTA IndyCar series. And for round 4, heading to the midpoint of the season now, we are at the Daytona road course for this one. Last time out at Indianapolis, if you missed that video, make sure you give it a look before we get into this one. And now looking at the standings after Indy, moved up a few spots into 12th place, 81 points. Feel like could have been a lot better at Indy, but it is what it is, and hopefully we can try and make amends for it with some good results here tonight. Dylan McClellan still leads the way, even with his 15-point penalty over Peter McCann, and then Connor Melia rounded out the top 3. But here in qualifying on Daytona Beach in Florida, this is my first flying lap, and it is actually going to be my fastest lap of qualifying. Heading into this one, I wasn't able to do the practice on the night before on Monday, and then before this race I didn't get to do a whole lot of proper practice before this either, so heading into this one fairly underprepared, getting through the bus stop chicane there, getting a bit wide through it, not getting the best exit. But yeah, didn't get much practice, wasn't feeling too comfortable, and this race, tyre temperatures and trying to get some sort of grip was very tricky, so not having any practice or real understanding of that wasn't really great going into this. But we come across the line set at 132.9 for my first flying lap, and now you can see how it was my fastest in the session. My next lap through the bus stop chicane, getting a bit of a slide, and then starting another flying lap into turn 1, just losing the back end a bit and going for another slide again into the bus stop, getting a bit more right there but taking a bit too much curb on the last part, heading onto the oval, again going for another slide, and then once again losing the back end and reversing into the wall. And that was going to start my last flying lap in qualifying, so that is qualifying.
You lost the rear wing.
So in the end, finished down in 17th place, over 2.5 seconds behind pole sitter Ronan Doherty, who set the exact same lap time as Dylan McClellan. So I presume Ronan set his lap first, which means he'll start from pole position. But heading into this one from down the grid, and with the way that turn 1, the opening section of Daytona is, maybe being at the back and trying to avoid anything that happens might not be the worst thing in the world. So as we get ready to go green here for the first race, I think the first time this season, everybody on the black stripe alternate tyres for race 1, just as I mentioned with how high the tyre temperatures do get around here. But we go green in Daytona, heading into turn 1, get a pretty good start, going to the outside because I felt like that was safer, and that gives the space for, I think that was Emma Dempsey, to dive it up the inside of myself and Tony Stack into turn 1, heading then into the International Horseshoe, sending it down the inside of Tony, getting that move done and getting a place back up into P16. So pretty good start so far, heading through the kink and into turn 5. Simon breaks a bit early there, leaves a gap on the inside, so we make a move there as Emma locks up and goes a bit wide too, so making 2 places up into 14 now and into turn 6, probably the most important corner of the track to get a good exit onto the oval section of the track. Up ahead, Evan Walsh having a bit of a moment, going slow down on the apron, so yet another position gained. And now we are flat out on the run down into the famous bus stop chicane where I've been struggling in qualifying, so just going to take it nice and easy, try and just play it safe during the race and focus on getting good exits. As up ahead, I'm not sure who that was, didn't get a good exit, ended up taking out another car. Luckily we managed to avoid it and gain another 2 places. Stay in the slipstream of Jamal Gandor up ahead. Slipstream very powerful around here, as you can see the speed that I'm gaining across the line through the tri-oval. Going to the outside for turn 1, trying to get the move done, but with the inside line Jamal manages to hold it as I go a bit wide But very exciting and I suppose very successful lap 1 up into 11th place. And now we're going to try and hunt down Jamal and try and get up into the top 10. Skipping ahead just a bit further on this same lap now, you can see through the oval section I'm pulling out of the slipstream of Jamal because I didn't want to get too close into the bus stop. I wanted to get a good run through there and get a good exit and then try and slipstream pass on the run to the line and into turn 1. So through the bus stop you can see did get a good run there on the push to pass, as is Jamal. But we're just 3 tenths behind now 2 tenths, and we'll get a good tow through this banked corner, one of the most banked corners that you will find in the world of motorsport, and that is what really cooks the tyres around here, just that banking and just the strain it puts on the tyres. Into turn 1 again, trying to go around the outside, this time not locking up, not going very wide. Jamal has a spin on the inside line, we have a half spin, but we managed to get that move done, and just the way that I half spun it means that Dara Halley wasn't able to get past. Into the International Horseshoe turn 3, having a bit of a moment, as is David Ward on the exit, so we move up a place now. And Dara Halley got a good run through there, through the kink of turn 4, he goes down the inside, and I wasn't really expecting that, so I ended up running off the track a bit, and that allows Dara to go through. So made 1 place on Jamal, another place on David, and lost 1 to Dara, so we remain in P10 as through turn 6. Again, big snap of oversteer, and that's going to ruin my exit onto the oval. We lose 2 places straight ahead, and then Tony gets the run on us on the flat out part of the track. So yeah, it was a good lap before, but hasn't been a great one this time, as we're in the slipstream of Tony now. Hopefully we can try and challenge back. That little mistake there is why I was struggling with throughout this round, and that's where the lack of practice really harmed me, because I didn't really know how to control the car when the tyres were so hot and there was so little grip available. We fast forward ahead then down this straight into turn 1, still in the slipstream, and into turn 1 have a bit of a look around the outside of Tony, but don't have the grip to get that move done. As up ahead, Dara Halley off the track making a mistake, so moving up another place once again. Is into our International Horseshoe. Tony locks up, has a bit of a wiggle on the exit. We're not able to make any means of that yet, but hopefully we can try and stay close and maybe have a go into turn 5. But into that corner, we're just not able to. The gap doesn't open up. He does run a bit wide, but not able to get the switch back to get that done. And now we skip ahead to the last lap of the race, still behind Tony, who we've been pretty evenly matched with. He'd be quicker in some parts, I'd be quicker in others. Simon Hutchins still ahead of Tony, but now a lap down after he had a bit of a crash, which I seem to be after cutting out of this. This is bad for me because it means Tony is getting the slipstream and I won't have that advantage, so really hoping that Simon pulls out of the way, which he does on the exit of the bus stop chicane. We get a good run, and you can see in the top left we have a lot more push to pass available than Tony. We also have the slipstream, so even though we're a few tenths behind, this battle isn't over for 9th place, currently in 10th. And you can see the speed that we're gaining on the run to the line, but unfortunately we're just going to run out of road. Finish race 1 after all the little incidents that I had in the top 10. So it was P10 then in the end, just behind Tony and 20 seconds behind Jordan Kelly, who won the race ahead of Ronan Doherty and Dylan McClemens. Considering everything that kind of happened in that race, the mistakes that I made, I feel like there could have been maybe a top 8, top 9, but really not too much more I could have made from that. So hopefully with a better starting position now for race 2, we can move further up the grid and get a few more points. Moving along then to the start of race 2, we are going here again in Daytona. Get a good jump on Tony, who was on our inside, so up to 9th heading into turn 1, and unlike in the first race, this time taking the inside line, making sure nobody goes up our inside, which they don't manage to do, nobody around our outside either. So we remain in P9. Heading into the International Horseshoe, have a bit of a look there down the inside, more so to cover from the cars behind. Wayne Douglas having a bit of a look, wasn't really trying to make an overtake, just defending myself more than anything. And now heading through the kink and into turn 5, taking it nice and easy, but Wayne goes for a big dive from a long way back, hits into the side of us and pushes off the track. We're on the grass just trying to be careful, rejoin and not to crash into anybody, but yeah, we had a good start there, and now we're down into P18, P19 now I think, as onto the oval section. I thought Josh was going to go for a spin there the way the angle his car was. But yeah, looking at our replay here on board with Wayne Douglas, you can see he goes for a dive from a long way back. To be fair, the gap was there, but still not very happy with that move, to be honest. I feel like he might not have been able to stop the car if my car wasn't there to act as a brake for him. But anyway, it is what it is. Moving on to the end of lap 1, starting lap 2. We got the slipstream from Josh, but we don't manage to get the run and to get the move done around the outside into turn 1. After the antics of Indianapolis, I was a bit wary of being behind Josh. Is into the international horseshoe. I'm actually not sure if Josh broke early or if I just missed my braking point. My head probably wasn't in the best place at this point, just what was after happening on lap 1. So yeah, after losing a couple of more spots now, as we try and get one back around the outside of Tony. He does have front wing damage, so pretty easy move with his lack of downforce, but still a pretty nice one. And now we are behind Wayne Douglas, our nemesis in this race, as Josh has a bit of a slide onto the banking, which is what I thought he was going to do on the previous lap, and he does do it this time. We get a good run on the Husky chocolate car, Marcus Ericsson's car from a few years ago. Heading into the bus stop chicane, I wasn't going to go for a move there, I was just trying to maybe put him off a bit. Josh gets past Wayne, Wayne going very slowly through the chicane. He does have a good bit of damage, you can see on the side pod there as we go past. And up ahead, Josh running wide into the wall and then going down on the apron. I don't really know what's going on there, but he then also pulls into the pit, so maybe some suspension damage making his car hard to control. As we finish lap 2, an eventful open this race. We're up in P17, and then on the start of lap 4, Emma Dempsey having an issue as well on the grass, moving up another place. About halfway through this one now and into turn 1, we get a big slide. Luckily we managed to save it and stay facing in the right direction. That does allow Philip Upson to go through, and we've managed to catch up to a nice group of cars here. I think that's Dara Halley after going straight on at the chicane, and that's Simon Hutchins off on the infield, and we get a good run on Philip here now, hoping to try and get a bit of slipstream off of Finley up ahead, but he seems to be giving it to Philip at the moment. If you look at the top left of Philip, not using any of his push to pass. I've noticed that in a couple of races he must not have the button down to it, but you can see just with the slipstream that he is able to stay with us into turn 1. I was going to try and hold it around the outside, but decide to let him have it for now and hopefully try and fight back later on in this lap. As we fast forward through now, heading into turn 5, Finley has a bit of a lock-up, goes a bit deep, so myself and Philip managed to get past there, and that's also good for me because it now means that Philip isn't going to have any slipstream and we should be able to hopefully get past. My plan here now was to not get through or not try and challenge into the chicane, just try and get close enough to set up a good exit so we can get a run to the line. So you can see here in the slipstream trying to get nice and close, and I'm going to lift off a little bit here to get a good run through and a good exit. But as I go a bit earlier on the brakes, Finley just completely rear-ends me. It's just stupid in all honesty. And yeah, he did get a penalty for that, which is good, but unfortunately for me, I also get a penalty for this incident here. On the exit of the bus stop, I just get a snap because I had no rear wing at this point from Finley running into the back of me, and I decide to just limp it around for the last lap. Unfortunately for that, Emma did report it, which I don't completely understand. Yes, it was my fault and it probably did deserve a penalty, but at the end of the day, you can see she's still going to finish the race in the same position. So personally, I wouldn't have reported that because it made no difference, but Emma decided to. I got a 15-point penalty, and all I'll say is it will be remembered. So after starting up in the top 10 and hoping to get a good result here in race 2, we end up in 19th place over a minute and a quarter behind Ronan Doherty and Jordan Kelly, who once again finished very close together, with Sean McClemens also not far behind. But yeah, there's definitely more to gain in that race, and I don't feel like I really done anything wrong to affect my position, my result, except for the incident with Emma, but my race was already over by that stage. So yeah, frustrating one, but hopefully in race 3 we can battle back and try and get another good result from way down the grid. So for the final time at a very warm Daytona, we're going very slowly on the pace lap, which it isn't how IndyCar restarts or starts are done, and as you can see here, I don't feel like it was a very safe restart and could have caused a lot of issues. Luckily everybody seemed to get away alright, but yeah, there's a lot in this series that isn't done how IndyCar is done. It is what it is, and we start race 3 now, heading into turn 1, taking it nice and easy. A little bit too easy on the inside as Jamal managed to send it around the outside and get that move done. But it is early in this 20-minute race, and going to try and take it nice and easy. Into the International Horseshoe though, there's a bit of a check-up, and I didn't see it quick enough. We end up clipping the rear end of Jamal, and yeah, got a lot of damage on the car, so we have to come into the pits at the end of lap 1. Luckily have a fast repair, so getting everything fixed nice and quickly, and we come back out onto the track in 21st place and a long way behind any of the cars up ahead. So it's going to be a pretty long and lonely race, I feel, for the rest of this one, and hopefully we can just try and pick up a few positions from other people having issues and start lap 5. That is what's happened. Moved up into P19, but into turn 1, just like in the last race, having a bit of a slide that allows David Prunty to get the move done. So down into 20th place and into the horseshoe again, just getting caught out by people braking a little bit earlier than I was expecting. Luckily we keep going, we don't run into the back of David, and we continue to run. Just on the second last lap now, and just trying to take it to the finish. We've moved up into 16th place with other people having issues and crashes and that kind of thing. But through the stop chicane for the second to last time, we have a slide, hit the wall, damage our front wheel, and yeah, we're going to have to come back into the pits again and get that repaired. With that, I overshoot my pick box. I was a bit fed up at this stage, and I decided to call it a day and retire from race 3. So in the end we finished in 18th place, 4 laps down and somehow higher up than where we started. Dylan McClemens taking the win in race 3 ahead of Sean and then Ronan Doherty in the top 3. And then looking at the standings after this one, Dylan remains in the championship lead, Ronan Doherty moving into second and Brandon McCaughlin up into the top 3. For myself, moving down a couple of places into 14th on 91 points now with that 15-point penalty. But still very close down around the back end of the top 10, and I feel like there's still a chance of maybe getting in the top 10 or 12 come the season's end. But that is it for this one. I hope you did enjoy. If you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe so you don't miss the next race, which is at Mid-Ohio. But until then, thanks for watching. See you then.